Guys, welcome to Curriculum Night. This is Miss Gooseman and Miss Piper. We are your face-to-face teachers at the moment, and Miss Portale and Miss Buffalo are your virtual teachers. So we're just going to go over a few things about school that we go over every year. This is Curriculum Night. So some important things that we talk about are our PBIS expectations, our PAWS. P standing for
Practice responsibility.
A standing for
Act kind and respectfully.
W standing for
Work hard.
and S standing for
That's the important one. Stay safe.
stay safe, especially now in these times. We got to stay safe. These are rules and expectations that all students should follow. There's the bell. The restroom, only 2 people in the bathroom at a time, 1 per stall, making sure you flush, washing your hands for 20 seconds.
And stay 6 feet apart.
And always staying 6 feet apart. In the hallways,
We are wearing our mask. Don't follow what I'm doing right now. But yes, we're wearing our mask. But we are 6 feet apart, so this is okay right now.
following directions the first time it's given. Some of the curriculum that we are looking at, we have the language arts standards. These can also be found on this hyperlink if you would like to go to it, if you would like to see what your student is learning this year. As well as the science. We go into rocks and minerals and energy and matter and the moon, moon phases and stuff. Those are the fun ones, but you can also go check out the hyperlink for that one as well. You want to do the next two?
Sure. Math. You're going to see our standards for math. We're basically taking what you learned in 3rd grade and we're elevating that. We'll also be introducing more complex fractions this year, as well as decimals and geometry. So math, as you know it, will get a little bit more difficult. You might notice that at first some of the grades might seem like they are going down, but it's not that your child is really failing, is that everything is just more complex. We're also using harder tests. We do use SchoolNet a lot, which is done by the people who create the questions for the EOG. We do that purposefully so that as the students are taking those SchoolNet tests throughout the year, when they get the EOG in front of them at the end of the year, it's not so much of a shock for them because they have been looking at these higher level questions the whole year. So it does help them out in the end. But in the beginning, it might look like your child is struggling. However, it's to get to the end goal where they will actually blossom and do very well on the EOG.
And this is the social studies stuff.
Social studies. So if you actually click on here, you'll be able to see our social studies standards, 4th grade. We talk about North Carolina history. We focus on that. So there's some great stuff there for your kids on social studies.
Please note that the learning and assignments continue when your child is virtual. So if they are not face-to-face that day, then they are expected to complete the assignments that are virtual. So that means going on to Google Classroom or participating in a live lesson. If they're not able to participate in that live lesson, then it's the expectation that they go on to Google Classroom and watch that lesson that day so they're caught up for when they actually do come back face-to-face. And if they're virtual, then they have to make sure that they are logging in and they are completing the assignments, because we have to continue on so we can get through all of our stuff before the EOGs, and it's already very tight packed with the curriculum so far. So it's very important that we just keep going and keep trucking on.
Yes, also keep in mind with the virtual component, if your child is supposed to be in school on an A day on Monday and Tuesday and they do not show up, however they do log in online, we are very grateful that they are doing and participating in the work. However, please keep in mind that your child will still be marked absent if they are not present during a day where they are supposed to be here live. So keep that in mind as far as attendance goes. So if your child is supposed to be here on an A day and they do not show up, but they do show up online, great job. But however, as far as county is concerned right now, your child will be marked absent.
Okay, so that's coming from the up in the county, so that's just something that's been passed down to us. Dress code, no coats and hats in the building, nothing sleeveless. Skirts and shorts cannot be shorter than 3 inches above the knee. Tennis shoes for PE days for safety, and sweaters and jackets for cold days.
And your mask.
And your mask at all times. Assessments, 3 to 4 times a year we have a STAR assessment. That's just kind of gauging where your student is academically through math and reading and how much growth they have shown so far in the year. And we take a mandated check-in by the county, and that just kind of gives us a heads up of where your student also is when it comes to the academics. It happens. Grades.
So grades are going to be given for assignments and assessments and should be completed in a timely manner. If you notice with Google Classroom, we do give you a start date and a date that we do expect it to be done by. I can say that I believe with most of 4th grade, we're in agreement that we do give you up until Sunday to complete those assignments up until 11:59. So if you, for some reason, were not able to complete an assignment, you can do so as long as you hand it in by Sunday. I don't know everybody's grade expectation, but I'm sure there will be points deducted or possibly no points given at all. So I would just verify with your specific teacher on that.
Homework. Homework is given as a review. It will not be an introduction of a skill that previously learned. Students should read 20 to 30 minutes each night. That is just building up our stamina for reading independently and being able to comprehend what we read. The more we do it, the more it will get better and improve.
If your child tells you that they don't have homework, it could well be possibly true. However, if your child does have homework, just to piggyback on what Ms. Piper said, it's probably something that they did not finish or complete in class, and that's why it's been sent home with the expectation that it will be ready for the following day.
Right, and there's always, if there's an assignment that they weren't able to finish on Google Classroom, you can always go check there. Sometimes there's assignments that pop up there as well. Google Classroom, checking Google Classroom daily for assignments and records. I know for myself, I have my assignments pop up at 8 o'clock every day. So using our textbooks as well as using Clever. Those for the virtual, you have the textbooks virtually, but you also have the hard copy as well. Make sure you're following what your teacher is expected of you and you are in those lessons so you can be caught up with everything. Math, we're using our Mentoring Minds, the purple one, and then reading, we're using NC Ed Cloud through the Ed app and the orange smiley face. As well as the books and stuff. And then science and social studies will be available in Google Classroom.
And make sure you're checking your stream. So do not only check your classroom portion of your Google Classroom where the classwork is located, make sure you're actually checking the stream because there will be some daily information that your teachers might provide for you. I know for myself, I can pretty much map out the day for you and tell you exactly what's happening or what's going on. So definitely check that. As far as my posting for Ms. Guzman's class, I will typically not post an assignment until after the live stream is over because I do have the expectation that my students do live stream with us. Once the recording is done for those who were not able to sign in, I will then upload and then post the assignments behind that to make sure that assignments are being completed. However, if you tuned into the live stream, you would be completing the assignments live with us, with the people in the classroom.
Yeah. Attendance and SEL surveys must be completed daily. Those are the surveys that the guidance counselor gives to us to have a little check-in for your students on the daily. And attendance is through participation and obviously face-to-face as well. On-level books or quick checks, they can use a 5-finger rule, 0 to 1, words are wrong or words wrong too easy.
Okay, this is Miss Buffalo and I'm Miss Wertel. We are the virtual teachers for this school year, at least until January 5th. These are some of the tips for things you need to know. Every night you should be reading for at least 20 minutes, and you should have all your facts memorized. Work on that. Multiplication is very important this year, especially when we get into fraction and fraction conversion. You're going to have a really hard time with fractions if you do not know your multiplication facts. Go ahead. We don't really need, well, if you have to send money for fees or anything this year, you need to bring a cashier's check or cash, because no personal checks will be accepted for any reason. Okay. These are examples of the types of questions that you may see on the EOG. If you want further examples, you can also go to NCDPI or type in North Carolina EOG release document, and you can review those questions in there, and it'll give you an example of what kind of questions to expect. More examples of questions. Another passage with questions. And then we get into the numbers. These are the typical math questions that you might expect to see, but those are not the kind of questions they're going to ask you on the test. They're going to ask you more questions like the next slide. They're going to be more in depth. There are multi-step word problems. They are not going to be one step or basic algorithms. They're going to be multi-step, and you have to stop and break it apart and think about what the action is asking you to do. Thank you for continuing to encourage and support our students. Don't forget that nightly you should be doing 30 minutes of Freckle. This is a skill builder. This is to help you increase your learning, and then you should be coming back to your teacher. If you do not understand something that you were assigned in Freckle, you should be bringing that back to your teachers to have them help you with it. Write it down on a piece of paper or a notebook so that they can come and help you with it. Thank you. Oh.